we literally, in 20 minutes on the phone, I sang out the arrangement. This is what I think it should be, blah, 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 blah. And he knocked it out as far as producing the track. And sent it back to me, went in the studio, 4 hours, it was done.
That is award-winning artist Anthony Faulkner. He is also a philanthropist with a passion for culture and travel. The award-winning singer and songwriter has been on this musical journey for some 20 years, and there are no signs he's planning to slow down anytime soon. Take me back to the very, very beginning. When did Anthony realize he had a voice? How old were you? Where were you?
I was 9 years old.
9?
9 years old. Not that long ago, I hope. But yeah, I was 9 years old, and I remember there was this lady at my church that sang, told the story all the time. But it was a song that came out, which was called Angel. And, I was deep in church with my mom and everything, and my family. So I was able to convince her to allow me to get the cassette of the song called Angel. Because it was called Angel. So she thought it was a gospel song. So when I was able to get that cassette, listening to that project just changed my whole trajectory of life. Because I was wondering, what is this that I've been exposed to? The musicality of the production, the songwriting, the vocal arrangements, the harmonies. It just took me on a whole nother journey. And, that was R&B legend Angela Winbush. And I know her because we went to the same church.
Wow.
So once I knew that, she was this larger-than-life, entity in my church world, I was able to bug her and get lots of tips of what to do, what not to do. And it has paid off. And she still tells me, she's so proud of me, to have the trajectory that I've had.
Remember your first song, your first solo performance?
My very first solo performance was at my junior high talent show, and I sang a song by High Five. Their big hit. My first published song was called What About Me, which is on another major network, which was before all of these talent show competitions came out. So, going back and looking back, it's been an epic journey.
Now, you are extremely popular abroad and called upon, especially on the continent of Africa. Why do you think that is?
Man, I don't know. I welcome every call. And I always say, if you guys want to honor me, I will show up. Just let me know. But my first trip to Africa was with gospel great Andre Crouch. I was one of his pioneer backup singers. And wow, that was years ago. So I would sing The Blood. That was my song with Andre Crouch.
Wow.
So going to Ghana, Africa, the first time. It's funny because I always thought of and dreamt of going to Africa. And when we landed in the plane, I just thought there was going to be this crazy transformation. So as I stepped off the plane, I held my breath because I didn't know what was about to happen. But, as I stepped off, I'm like, oh, okay. It's
Life's here too.
Life's here too. But yeah, I've been blessed to go to Kenya, Rwanda, Uganda, Namibia, South Africa, Johannesburg, Cape Town, Durban, worked with some amazing artists, and again, grassroots. So I'm performing in the U.S. at various places, and people walk up and say, hey, you have to go to South Africa. And I'm like, I don't know anyone there. And then literally this woman pulled out a card and said, here, I want you to contact this person. Okay. And being always a business-minded individual, I follow up on every lead within 24 hours. Come to find out, it was Jabu Hawani of Joyous Celebration.
Wow.
So we cultivated that, negotiated, and 6 months later, I'm the special guest at the Joyous Celebration recording. Nice. And that took on a life of its own. And from there, Uganda, Rwanda, I have over 7 #1 songs, via video or radio charts over there. So it's been incredible.
Beautiful. Before I move on to the current work, let's speak to that adventurous side of you. I know you outside of this. So you're big on the safari and
Man,
what's up with that?
I love safaris, I've been on about 20, 25 of them. It's just something about being one with nature. It's like there is no control. You have no control, and anything can happen at any given moment. So it's sort of like a reset for me to be out in God's wonderful world and just see everything in harmony. That's what I see when I go on safaris. So literally there could be lions like next to you. You don't bother them, they won't bother you.
That's what you say.
I know. I know there's many stories and things online, but, it's an incredible thing to see the beauty of our world that God created for us to, enjoy, within moderation,
Yes.
But
Yes.
I love it.
Beautiful. Now, you are here during the holiday season. How does life change for you during this time of year?
Oh, that's a good question. 'Cause it really doesn't. No, being, independent artist, record label owner, it's always a constant because I manage everything. But, I'll put up a tree and, here and there and performances all over, And I always say there's sacrifices that are to be made with this industry. I haven't been able to settle down or have a family of that things yet. But, it's due to come. But, we'll go spend time with my sister and, I have very close friends that I may get to see. But, I love the holidays nonetheless.
And you have new holiday music.
I do.
Tell me about the latest single.
Okay. So you know me, Efrem. So, I'm not one to, sing other songs because I think that we're all unique in our own way that God made us. So we have enough to put out there. But I did my version of Silent Night. And I didn't know how I was going to turn out. I did it. And I went in the studio, and I love what took place in there. So it's out now. I hope you enjoy it.
I do. I got to hear it before it was out. So, yes, I enjoy it.
So question, was it different from what you used to be?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Of course. Okay. But nonetheless, good.
Okay.
Tell me about that production process.
Well, worked with George Tyler, phenomenal producer. He also produced You Are Amazing. That has done amazing as well. And I said, George, we need to do something. We need to do a Christmas song. It was supposed to be an EP, but with the year that has been and all that, it ended up being a single. And flew to Indianapolis, put down the idea. George, created, birthed the track, and then sent it back to me. And we could create ideas in a matter of minutes. So literally that concept was done in 2 minutes. Yeah. So we did a concept for a full EP in literally like 20 minutes. That's our connection as far as musically goes. And I said, all right. I put everything on the shelf, and then I was like, okay, pull it off, give me the song, send it to me. And I went in the studio in 4 hours. What you hear vocally, the arrangements, was created in 4 hours.
What is it about that song in specific you think that made you single that one out of all the Christmas songs you could have done?
Because it's very melodic, and it's a song that everyone loves when they hear it. So I wanted to take a risk and see how I could put a spin on it and make it my own. It's public domain, so I was excited about that.
Yeah.
That was another qualifying factor as far as being an independent business person. So, how best can I take something that everyone knows and put a new spin on it? And man, creating that in the studio with the engineer Dorothy Chan. It was just the two of us.
Wow.
I said, all right, Dorothy, we got to get it. So when there's edits, it's like cut, redo. So in 4 hours, we probably had about 5,000 cuts and retakes, but we got it done.
Nice, beautiful. Now you're also going to do another single for us. Tell me about that one.
Which is my original Christmas song, which is entitled This Time of Year. That's an original creation, and it talks about, what I would like Christmas to be as far as with family and around the Christmas tree and creating new memories and reflecting on old memories. So I wanted to write a song that people could relate to as well. Although that's not my situation, I'm sure others can relate to it. But yeah.
Tell me about the process of writing it. Where did it come?
Again, George Tyler. We did that on the phone.
Wow, on the phone?
On the phone. I said, George, I need a Christmas song. He's like, all right. So you're going to fly here? I said, no, I don't have time. We literally, in 20 minutes on the phone, I sang out the arrangement. This is what I think it should be, blah, 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 blah. And he knocked it out as far as producing the track. And sent it back to me, went in the studio, 4 hours, it was done.
Something about those 4 hours.
Because it's a block of hours.
It's a block
of studio.
Yeah. Okay.
We have 4 hours.
So in addition to your music, you do a lot of philanthropy.
Yes.
Tell me about that work and what started it for you. What happened that made you think, I've got to do more than just put out music, be a professional. I got to do more.
Well, I grew up family of seven. It was seven of us.
Seven.
Seven, So, humble beginnings, and we needed assistance from, people in the church, and they always stepped up to the plate and helped us. And I always was grateful. Although it was embarrassing, it was still humbling, And I wanted to be in a position to do that for others, but not make it as obvious, like, oh, okay, you're down on your luck, so we're going to help you out. So I encountered a lot of that. So, when I'm traveling overseas, like some of the orphanages don't even know that I'm coming. And I typically, I do it kind of unorthodox because my drivers, I'll ask, like, hey, I want to visit an orphanage. Do you know of one you could refer me to? And I learned that because before I was going and letting them know that I was coming and, different scenarios would play out. So to avoid all that and to still make it authentic and fun and wonderful for me, I would just go around the process. And then go to the orphanage. I've had CD releases at orphanages because I want the kids to see what it would be like to have, catered food and TV displays and just to have a release, So I did that one in Uganda. Yeah, so I've touched down like Uganda, I've done Egypt, I've done Kenya, Namibia, South Africa, or I find out that they may need shoes. They need summer shoes or summer clothes, and, I'll go and take care of that.
A favorite memory from that work you've been able to do?
Favorite memory is going to Egypt and finding out that the kids needed summer clothes. And they produced a list, and again, went through the driver.
Wow.
And my friend Sandra and I went to different stores to buy all those clothes for those kids. It was about maybe 70 kids.
Wow.
So being able to have them packaged up and then take them and then, give them out was one of the most incredible. The kids, they're just like, oh, what's going on? This American is here, blah, blah, blah. Oh, he's a singer. So then they're asking me, sing like the top 40. Sing the top 40, I'm just like, okay. But it's been amazing seeing smiles come on the kid's face and just making a difference, Just letting them know that there's much more out there in a loving, fun way, opposed to, being put in a box.
Nice. So let's dive into your childhood as we sit here and talk about the holidays. What's the most memorable Christmas for you? What do you remember?
My favorite Christmas would have to be the one where I received my Angela Winbush cassette.
Are you serious?
Yes, absolutely. That was like life-changing for me, to be able to have that intro to this magnificent music world. It literally, like, the light switch came on. Like, this is what I want to do. I don't know how I'm going to get it done, but yeah. And I was able to get a cassette player, too, that year. So it was a cassette player and that cassette. And I think that was it. And the best Christmas ever.
Best Christmas.
Best Christmas ever, yeah. As a kid, yeah.
Looking at this journey you've had thus far, if you could go back now in time and speak to the little boy getting that cassette, what advice would you give him?
Ooh, I would alert him of those pitfalls and those people that would try to set traps to exploit the talent and exploit my gifting that I yet really understood, or the power that I possessed in being able to transform on these stages and create positive change, So that's why I like staying independent, And my mentor, I give her a lot of credit, and just recently clicked. I remember begging her to go in the studio. I want to go in the studio. I want to go in the studio. And she always said no. And I was like, why? And she said, because I'm protecting you. So you see what's going on now. All that was going on then.
Wow.
And I'm just so grateful that, there were other pitfalls, but I was able to, use my instincts to navigate that. So, yeah.
What's been the career high thus far?
The career high would be, what would it be? Probably becoming a million miler. With Delta, becoming a million miler. Like, I've been jet setting across this globe, creating positive change everywhere I can go. And to see it come back in a form that's recognizable, you can say, okay, yeah, you fly here, whatever. I'm like, look at this. But yeah, it makes me sit back and think about how good God has been to me. And although there's been many, many, many delays, in many, many obstacles, I still remain steadfast, driven, determined, and to see the fruit of my labor reciprocated in those little forms, For so many, they don't care. But for me, it's just like, wow, Lord, I want to keep doing it.
Nice.
So my last continent is Antarctica, and that's going to be taking shape very soon.
Oh, so you will have had all 7.
All 7. Yeah. I'll probably be on the, National Geographic cruise waving at the penguins. but I'm getting there soon.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much. Good to have you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Always. For more information on Anthony Faulkner and his music, simply go to afaulkner.com. I want to thank you so much for joining us for this edition of Conversations from Studio 5 and making this your weekly destination for uplifting interviews with a strong focus on faith. We look forward to seeing you next time right here on the podcast.